One night, David rejected a phone call from his father. He looked at the screen. Dad calling. Then he pressed decline. He was busy, or at least that's what he told himself. His father called again. David rejected it again. I'll call him tomorrow, he thought. But tomorrow never came. For years, David had been focused on building his career. Long work hours, business meetings, deadlines, promotions. He always told himself he was doing it for his family. But the truth was, he barely had time for them anymore. His father lived in a small town 3 hours away. Whenever his father called, the conversations were simple. How are you? Are you eating properly? When are you visiting? The same questions every time. And lately, David had started finding them annoying. That night, after rejecting the calls, he returned to work. A few hours later, his phone rang again. This time it wasn't his father. It was his mother. David answered immediately. The moment he heard her voice, he knew something was wrong. His father had suffered a heart attack. David jumped into his car and drove through the night. His hands shook the entire journey. He kept thinking about those missed calls. Why had his father called twice? What did he want to say? What was so important? David reached the hospital just before sunrise. Doctors had done everything they could, but his father was gone. Gone, just like that. A man who had spent his entire life taking care of his family. A man who never asked for much. A man whose last 2 phone calls had gone unanswered. For weeks, David couldn't stop thinking about it. He replayed that night over and over. The phone ringing, his father's name on the screen, the decline button, again and again. Months later, David visited his mother's house. While sorting through old belongings, he found a small notebook. Inside were handwritten notes from his father. Birthdays, family memories, important dates. And on one page, David found something that made his eyes fill with tears. Written in shaky handwriting were the words, "Call David tonight. Just wanted to tell him I'm proud of him." David sat there in silence. His father wasn't calling to ask for money. He wasn't calling for help. He wasn't calling to complain. He simply wanted his son to know he was proud of him. And David never answered. Years passed, the pain became easier to carry, but the lesson never left him. Now, whenever someone he loves calls, he answers. Whenever family wants to spend time together, he makes time, because he learned something that night. Success can wait. Emails can wait. Meetings can wait. The people you love cannot. Many people believe they have unlimited tomorrows, but life doesn't make that promise. Sometimes the last conversation happens without warning. Sometimes the last opportunity arrives disguised as an ordinary moment. A phone call, a dinner invitation, a simple conversation. And once that moment is gone, you can never get it back. So call your parents, text your friends, visit your family, not someday, today, because one day you'll wish for just one more conversation. And by then, it may be too late. This is Midnight Mind Stories, stories that stay with you long after they end.